This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. The city of Gary broke ground this morning on the Fiber Smart House, which will serve as a technology workforce and educational training hub. Tom Dockich, partner with development firm Digital Equity, says the facility will also serve as a fiber access point for large networks in the region and provide community benefits.
By taking this building, that's a strong building, it's a great building, and making it the center of fiber for Northwest Indiana, and putting in a network operations center that can be useful for emergency services in Northwest Indiana, in Lake County, or it can be useful for network operations center for any place throughout the world, because our fiber is so strong here underneath the toll road. That's an important part of it.
The hub will be located inside a renovated Gary Union Station, which has sat vacant for over 50 years. General Motors says supply chain issues will lead to a temporary production pause at its Fort Wayne assembly operation next week. Spokesperson Jeffrey Benzing told our partners at WPTA TV the stoppage is in response to a temporary part shortage. Work is slated to resume September 5th. Indianapolis-based food tech firm True Essence Foods has raised $27.6 million in Series B funding. CEO Matt Rubin says the funding will be used to scale up the company, including hiring new employees and producing and deploying additional units of food processing equipment for customers to use. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
5 Indiana counties are choosing to give up a combined maximum of $3.3 million in enhanced public health funding from the state in 2024. Here's Gary Dick.
The bulk of that funding comes from Johnson County, which qualified for up to $2.1 million in funds. But Governor Eric Holcomb said Tuesday he is happy with the progress. 85 of Indiana's 92 counties have chosen to join the state program, with a few days left before the September 1 deadline. Johnson County leaders told the Daily Journal earlier this month that the health department didn't need the funds and already performs the, quote, core public health services required by the grant funding. Public health departments in 4 other counties, Whitley, Wells, Fountain, and Crawford, all indicated their commissioners declined the funding as well. Health departments and commissioners in an additional 2 counties, Adams and Harrison, didn't respond to calls about whether they'd meet the deadline for the public health funds. In an effort to incentivize counties to better address the public health needs of their residents, the state committed $75 million in grant funding to bolster budgets, so long as counties continue to pay the average amount allocated in recent years. Each government unit is guaranteed a minimum amount of grant dollars and receives the maximum if they meet a set of goals established by the state health department. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Fort Wayne seniors now have another option when looking for low maintenance and affordable housing. 41 North on Monday began welcoming new residents who are looking for high quality but not overly pricey housing to downsize into. Indianapolis-based multifamily housing development company Real America developed the $13 million project, which has 65 apartments with 2 available floor plans. Business is booming for a wireless technology company that started small in Greenfield but has grown its client list to over 600. SoniQ provides temperature and environmental monitoring for healthcare and life sciences customers, including all pharmacies at every Indiana University Health hospital throughout the state, to make sure each fridge and freezer is keeping medication and vaccines at the right temperature. Chief Revenue Officer Joe Mundell.
We've been doubling our revenues over the last couple of years, and we're just coming off a record quarter for us. We had back-to-back record months. We have national contracts with Optum, which is one of the largest healthcare companies in the United States. So it's been a fun ride.
The company has about 30 employees in Greenfield, with more working remotely throughout the country. Marketing executive Travis Brown is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.